If I had known the woman I saved that night would one day change my entire life via broken bar, I might have done exactly the same thing. But back then, I had no idea who she was. All I knew was that she needed help and I was in the right place at the wrong time via broken bar, or maybe it was exactly the right time. Derek Holloway used to think his life had peaked at 28. Back then, he had a decent job in construction, a happy marriage, and a 2-bedroom home in a quiet neighborhood just outside of Chicago. But when his wife, Marissa, passed away suddenly from a brain aneurysm, his world flipped upside down. Left alone to raise their 5-year-old son, Evan, he quickly discovered that grief didn't wait until after dinner or bedtime. It crept into every corner of life, and it hit hardest during the quiet moments. In the 2 years since Marissa's death, Derek had done everything he could to keep it together for Evan, and for his own sanity. He took on odd jobs, sometimes working 2 shifts back-to-back just to keep the lights on. Their savings dwindled faster than he could replenish it, and while he never let Evan see the stress on his face, his nights were sleepless and full of silent prayers. On a bitterly cold Tuesday night in November, Derek was walking home from the bus stop after a late shift washing dishes at a downtown restaurant. The streets were mostly empty, and he kept his coat tightly wrapped around his frame, hands shoved deep in his pockets. Evan was already asleep at his neighbor's apartment, a kind older woman named Mrs. Franco who had taken a liking to both father and son. As he rounded the corner near a deserted alley, Derek heard a scream, a sharp, panicked sound that instantly put him on high alert. Without thinking, he ran toward it. There, in the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, a woman was being dragged toward a dark SUV by 2 men in masks. She kicked and screamed, but they were bigger, faster. Derek didn't hesitate. He sprinted across the street, adrenaline drowning out every thought of fear or consequence. Grabbing a broken metal pipe near a dumpster, he shouted and charged. The men didn't expect interference. The taller one swung at Derek, but he ducked and landed a hard blow to the man's knee. The other pulled a knife, slashing wildly. Derek blocked it with his forearm, pain erupting instantly, but he fought through it. The woman managed to stumble away, calling the police on her phone as she ran. Sirens echoed in the distance, and the attackers fled into the shadows. Derek collapsed against the wall, blood seeping from his forearm. The woman rushed back to him, tears streaming down her face. "You saved me," she said, her voice trembling. "You a broken bar, you could have been killed." "A broken bar." He gave a faint smile. "So could you." Her name was Clara Whitmore. She insisted on staying with him at the hospital, even though Derek kept telling her he was fine. He only needed a few stitches. Clara, though shaken, kept thanking him repeatedly. She even offered to pay for his medical bills, but Derek refused. "I'm just glad you're okay," he said. "That's all that matters." Clara didn't push. She asked for his number in case she needed to follow up with the police, and Derek gave it. Not thinking twice about it, he went back to his life the next day, back to the bills, the exhaustion, and the worry. Clara faded into a surreal memory, one of those moments you remember vividly but assume won't come back around. 2 weeks later, Derek was laid off. The restaurant where he worked went under unexpectedly, and he found himself jobless right before the holidays. With rent overdue and Evan needing new shoes, Derek reached his breaking point. He started applying to jobs everywhere: retail, manual labor, delivery services, but the market was flooded and slow. One night, scrolling through job listings on a borrowed laptop while Evan colored beside him, Derek found an opening for a facilities supervisor at a sleek, modern tech company, Whitmore Dynamics. The name rang a bell, and then it hit him. Clara Whitmore. Was it possibly broken bar? He hesitated. The job was far beyond what he thought he was qualified for. It required leadership experience, logistics coordination, and a resume he hadn't polished in years. But something in him whispered, try. So he did. He poured his heart into the cover letter. He told the truth. He explained his background in construction, his ability to manage under pressure, and his willingness to learn and grow. He didn't mention Clara. He didn't want to play the hero card.